Welcome to some more Flat Earth Science. This video is dedicated to all the Flat Earthers because I want them all to know how the system works. If they know how it all works, they can go out there and win arguments. They need to know how it works, the science behind it all. Now, there's plenty of versions of how the Flat Earth works, the Flat Earth model works, but they're all hoo-ha. This is the full model, and it equates with what science knows. They know it all. But I've only been realising they know it all in the last month or two, watching their videos. But the funny thing is, they didn't have this stuff a couple of years ago. It's all appearing now on YouTube channels, but I think they've got control of the system and they know how to backdate. So if they put a video out last week, they can say it came out 2 years ago or something. And the big topic these days is the black hole. Once you understand the black hole, you understand the whole system. Now I'm going to guide you through it. I put this all up a couple of days ago, and you get into a zone. I've stepped out of it now, so I have to work my way through it, and bear with me. So first of all, looking down on Earth, it looks like this. This is south, north. These are the magnetic field lines. They come out from the north to the tropics. They come from the south to the tropics. The two pressure zones. High pressure from the ice coming to the low pressure of the tropics. Looking down the centre of there, we have this invisible vortex. You cannot see it, but it's what's going on there, because we can't see the magnetic field, can we? Unless you start getting technical with ferrofluids and all sorts of other stuff. But this slice through the middle, that's what it looks like. Torus field. High pressure coming up from the Arctic, straight to being pulled down through the Earth due to the low pressure of the tropics. It's a dual system that science does not know about, nor do any other flat earthers, until they've seen this. This is how the field works: out of the north, down through the ground, up, back down, and up there. This is negative system, positive system. High pressure, low pressure. There's a dual system here and a dual system there. It's shaped like the human brain because it's all nature. And this is where we get all that action in the centre, right there. Like a ring magnet. It's the crunch point, pressure zone. Everything converges in there, and that's where all the magic happens. That's where the tree of life is. Our Earth is just like a ring magnet. In there, because the dual system, this pressure coming up, this pressure going down, bang, you get the sun. And one thing flat earthers don't want to admit, or don't want to agree with, is science's theory on the Big Bang. I didn't either. But now I know the whole system. You have to understand there was a Big Bang, because that's what created the sun in our system, in our closed system. Even science doesn't know how the sun was created, or how the black hole is created, because the sun sits in the black hole. That is the sun. It looks more like an egg though. It's an egg shape, just like the sun would be the yolk in the egg, the head of a child's body type thing. It's the same thing, nature. Now we get this low pressure coming down inside. Let's go back a bit. This is a big magnetic vortex. At the beginning of time, the pressure built up, and then bang, we got the suction down the guts. Just like when you vortex water, it starts up, winds up, then all of a sudden it gets this fast action down to the middle. This is what happens here. And I think this is what science calls the weak force out here and the strong force. Basically like this. You see that? You've got this field coming up here, which is negative. You got the positive coming down through here, or the low pressure shooting in there. No, I won't use the pressure in that situation. This situation is negative, positive, hitting each other to create the sun. There's a weak force and the strong force, because the strong force is that spinning suction back down the center of a vortex. And that's how we got the bang. Bang, the sun was created. And that's when life appeared. And whether it appeared in the 6 days of creation or instantly, I'm not quite sure. But it happened pretty quick, pretty fast. And basically, once the sun was created, everything was visible. So if you can imagine that the human body, we were all just stars. We existed as stars. And then when the sun was created, we had just appeared. We just appeared. Just best way to describe that is like in Star Trek. Yeah. The early days of Star Trek. They knew the force field, the magnetic field, the force field. It's not a hardcore firmament. It's just a force field, a magnetic pressure. And it's made up of layers of frequencies and pressures. Different densities that hold the different frequencies. It's like in a rainbow. And when they beam me up Scotty, when he comes and they land, you see all that starry stuff. It's basically what you were up there, then you appeared solid down here on Earth. Solid, non-physical. This is all a projection. Actually, our whole realm is a projection, but in our state of consciousness, it's physical down here, it's non-physical up there. You see it, but it's non-physical. They won't tell you that. NASA wants you to believe that you can go places and land on planets. They're basically frequency. Mass is frequency. Mass equals frequency. Science knows that. So we've got this massive vortex, magnetic vortex, built up pressure, came the action, made the sun, blew out, at the same time created all the planets. And all the planets are up there around this area here, but I've drawn them down like this. They sort of sit in this triangular shape. You know, you can imagine Saturn way up there and Mercury or Venus way back in here and closer to the sun. And what happens is the moon wanders, spins around this, but winds down and winds up. It winds up to the sun negative, where it loses its skin. It winds down positive, where it gains its skin, because it's coming down to Earth, because Earth is negative. So positive and negative attract. Then it goes back up negative. The sun is positive. Negative and positive attract up there. That's how that works. The moon, doing that track, the moon is like a harmonic resonator that plays the planets, feeds them positive energy and negative energy. Just play them like a guitar. Moon transfers energy. Science knows this. I've just watched the video. They all talk about frequencies and sounds. And that's what it is. Because the black hole is an amplifier. Like the bore of a trumpet amplifier. Science says dark energy equals negative energy that pushes things apart. So let's go back to the black hole now. The black hole, the sun is in the black hole. There's the sun. Up in there is the black hole. And the black hole is an amplifier. What is in there has created our realm. We are basically created from nothing, from in there. And this also relates to meditation, going to a dark place where nothing happens, state of rest. It's all connected, the human brain and the centre of Earth. Because it's like a brain, or two spheres. They're there if you want to, there and there, centre and there and there. Like there you could say that's your pineal gland. That's man, the son of man. That's the son of our earth. But we see it out here. And that's the two spheres, the human brain. You can imagine the pineal gland there. The tropic zone is the centre right there. That ring around there is the tropics, and that ring is around here. That's the ecliptic, where everything travels, because the planets and the sun and the moon are all in that area. They're all crammed up into here. And that's the ring. They travel around west, all going in the same motion. Now we have two forces here, weak force, strong force, and they're opposing each other, only from different directions. But the spin itself isn't, it's the same, because the vortex winds up and then bang, it spins back down, but it's still going in the same motion, same direction. This is why everything turns in the same direction. But the two forces, one is shooting down this way, while the main magnetic field flows up. This gets sucked down. Back to the black hole. So around the black hole we have the spin. And there's a dual spin. We have this spin and this spin. This is the weak spin. This is spinning on the inside. The two fields are spinning in here. And outside there we have the planets. Planets as electrons. So there's another system there. There's the Milky Way. It's the Milky Way down the centre. Down here, because there's the action. Then you have the background stars, the blue stars. The blue is the background stars. But there's the Milky Way. The ascending magnetic spin and the descending electrical spin, they are spinning the same direction but opposing each other. One up, one down. Okay? Overlays. SETI-1, Abydos, Egyptians talk about the overlays. In here, there's an overlay. You've got the one set of stars and the other set. You've got the Milky Way and the background stars. Inside of that, you've got the sun and the planets. So you've got the planets and the Milky Way. I'll rub these off as I go, so I don't go back over them. Okay, the two forces. I'll try and rub them out as I go. Music of the spheres, science is calling it now. Music amplified from the void, the black hole, because it's an amplifier. Amplifier, okay? The black hole amplifies everything. So everything in our realm is all a projection, an amplified projection. It all gets sucked back to nothing. Science realizes this. All sucked back to the black hole. It's just all been expanded out. Like looking under a mega electron microscope. So we've got to understand that. Harmonic resonator flowing past all the planets. So positive when it's close to down here would be stronger as the full moon down here. Coming close to the earth, you get the bigger tides. Least tides when it's back up at the sun. Science says dark energy. Yeah, dark energy equals negative energy that pushes things apart. Negative pressure, they say, in here in the black hole. Due to all this action, creates a negative pressure in here, and it expands outwards. They know that, and this is what dark energy is. It's not really dark energy, it's already out there. But dark matter, it's out there in our realm. It's the background. I don't think they'll find anything. There's nothing in here in the centre, in the black hole. They'll find no particles. It's just nothing. It's the backdrop to everything we see. All created from this black hole. Mass equals frequency, they say, because it's all sound. Everything is frequency, which creates light. Electromagnetism. Electricity, magnetism, basically creates the light. But it's all based on frequencies, sound, and it's all coming from the black hole. All in here. It's like an instrument. Electric charge produces negative pressure in the black hole. The electric charge around here creates a negative pressure in the black hole. Nucleus of Atom, the black hole, basically, the nucleus of the atom. So you say positively charged, neutrons negatively charged. So we say the positives here, then you got the negative neutral out here, not doing much because all the action is in the positive here, the proton spinning in here. Then they say together they make quarks and anti-quarks. Then they could break it down. Oh, the planets as electrons. Planets out here, they could be their quarks, I'm not too sure. Hawkins radiation, they call this stuff around here Hawkins radiation. On the horizon, Einstein knew about this horizon, action on the horizon. Things get sucked down the black hole, down its perimeter. Nothing happening on the inside, it just gets spun down the sides here to bang, crunch at the bottom. Gluons could be the moon. It's getting really sciencey, but if you understand the main concept, you understand how the flat earth works. Basically that's what the planets look like around the egg, the cosmic egg, the sun. That's what we see in our sky on the ecliptic, but in actual fact it's up there where we don't see it. That's what it looks like. The system here. See that? Represents the eye of the Freemason pyramid. The sun. Looks like that, but it's out like that because it's tiered. It gets smaller and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The sun, if you look down that way, you're looking that way. We see everything on a slight tilt out here, but it's the ecliptic will be here, here or here. Perihelion, aphelion. It goes around like this in the southern summer, and the sun follows the magnetic field. If it's pointing that way, which is a spiral down here, if it's pointing that way, the sun will follow it. It's southern summer. If it comes up equal, that's equinox, equilibrium. When it starts going that way, it's aphelion. The sun's pointing up towards the north, more brought the sun back closer to the north. But when it goes down at perihelion, something flips. It's like a phase shift that pops this area out to this perimeter. And then it's always lit. That's in the Antarctica, that's going deep. But it's seen in magnetism. You bring a magnet down on another magnet, it pops it out, like pushing down on a balloon full of air, forces the air out. There you go, there's pressure again. So, background stars, Milky Way, in there, planets around the sun. Check all that out. And we've done this in a previous video. Earth's magnetic field, isotroper. Isotroper is a Greek word. Isos, and tropos, meaning equal and turn and change, turn or change. And that's what the thing is doing, the fields are doing. They're turning and they're changing when they go back down through the earth. They come and turn opposite and change. Turn and change. Equal pressure there and there are the same. There's no difference between south and north. You've been lied to all your lives. There's no north and south field. The two are here. The ground negative, up there is positive. High pressure meeting the low pressure in the middle. The tropics, magic. And then the word put together, this is English for you. It's magic. Isotropics. Ice to the tropics. Ice to the tropics. Right there. Center north, tree of life. That's what it is, but we don't see it, do we? All the cultures knew of this tree of life that you do not see. This is always spinning. This is your 24-hour day, that sun turning in this void. And the light comes this way. The light shines through the darkness to your day. That's not day out this side. That's the back of the sun at night. At Atum Ra. That's the underworld at night. We see it in the Milky Way. Good telescope, so you've got to zoom right in. You see all the light shining. You see it. It's a bit complicated trying to explain that, but that's how it works. The Milky Way, the sun is in there, and it also represents Sigma Octantis and Polaris. But it's a bit tricky trying to explain why you see the sun in the middle of the Milky Way, which is sitting somewhere out here, but at the same time the sun is supposed to be there and there. But it's the way it is. I'll get into that maybe some other time, but you see the Milky Way comes up in the west. It'll sort of, I don't know how we do this. Imagine that's the west. Comes up, that's sort of looking only a bit north, but it'll curve and go down west. It comes up and curves. So that's the Milky Way. You'll see the sun is in here. It's the back of the sun. It's a reflection from the centre though. We're seeing it out here. It's the back of the sun. Like I say, it's a bit tricky to explain. But the Milky Way, one end will always be southwest, and the other end moves around like this. And it's to do with the Milky Way sitting vertical in there. And as that turns 24/7 over the night, imagine a tornado. It's on a bit of an angle, isn't it? Well, because of that angle and that concaved southern sky, it's just the way it works, that curving. That's in the video as well. What have we got here? The force back outwards. Oh, that was forcing this being forced back outwards, amplification. So science knows all about this. So, holographic universe. Is this the holographic projection? How the Big Bang came to be. Well, I've just explained it. When the pressure built up, and bang, down came the low pressure, sucked in. There's always the counter force, right? There's the attraction, low pressure to high pressure. It's the suction. It's the positive, negative on a magnet. It's all about pressure. Where was I going? Well, I've got time. I'll put these screenshots on and read what science has to say about the black hole. So I'll turn the camera around a little bit if I can. Bear with me. There we go. Oh, bit of an angle there. As I read this and watch some pretty pictures. Going to start for me. Oh, there it is. Oops, just turned it off again. No. There we go. Oh shoot. What's this? What's this thing? How do I get rid of that? There we go. So this is, we've nearly got this set up, but you show that we've got a reflection down. There's the northern Polaris sky, northern sky rotation, and there's the southern on the concaved firmament. It's a firmament of pressure. There's no hardcore shell. So the field is the sun being created in there. You have this dual system here. But this isn't quite right. We'll come out and go down, back up out here, and back down and back up. What else we got here? There's the dual system, the two night skies, and that's straight. How can you have two rotations like that if you're looking up from one spinning ball into one sky, one night sky? Impossible. It's a joke. It's in magnetism. They're the same pressure. That is the opposite pressure. There'll be high pressure, that'll shoot out and form low pressure. It's the opposites in the magnetism. This is Ken Wheeler's site. He knows all about magnetism. That's the crunch point in the centre of the ring magnet. That's where the action is created. That's the black hole. Oh, while we're here, this is science, this is BS. You do not get a photo of Saturn like that. Pure BS. This is a real picture. You do not get this coming out the bottom of the ring. If you understand a holographic projection, a mirrored image, in this system, you do not get that dual bulge. The infinite sign, that's how our system works. Comes up out of the south to the tropics, say Capricorn, hits the ground and shoots off opposite, under the ground, up at the Arctic Circle, out of the Arctic Circle, down the Tropic of Cancer, through the ground, through the earth, back up again, out at the Antarctic. That's how the energy flows. The infinite sign, infinity sign. This spiraling golden ratio is probably what the moon's doing. It starts off up here, new moon by the sun, and then spirals out.